Good day, Troop Series 1 here for an action figure review, and today we have the Marvel Legends Vintage Spider-Man Wave Green Goblin. If you're in Australia and you're looking for collectibles, go to Tugernuts Collectibles, link in the description below, and while you're there, I appreciate if you could like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell. His retro packaging, so here we have a shot of the Green Goblin from the animated series. And from the back, we have other figures in the wave. And we have a read up here. Pause right now so you can read it. And not much on the side, but you can see the Green Goblin. This is really a collector friendly box. So yeah, you can see the whole figure, except the back of course. And nothing much at the bottom. So let's open up this item. We have Green Goblin out of the packaging. And many wonder why the satchel of the Green Goblin is pink. It is actually based in the comic books, The Amazing Spider-Man 121 from 1973. The costumes of these action figures, actually the main three action figures in this wave, Spider-Man, Gwen, and Green Goblin, matches how they are exactly drawn in Amazing Spider-Man 121 and 122. In 121, this is the issue wherein Gwen Stacy dies, and you can see here it actually matches. The skirt is purple, the coat is green, and the shirt of Gwen Stacy is black, so it all matches. Here are the Green Goblin's accessories. We have a Goblin glider here, and the pumpkin bomb, and an alternate head sculpt, the Norman Osborn head sculpt. It's a pretty good head sculpt, except mine has a smudge on the forehead right here. But the texture of his hair is really good. It really feels like how he is drawn in the comic books, wherein there's some bumps around it. And yeah, he died in Amazing Spider-Man 122 with this same accessory, the Goblin Glider. Now looking at the figure right here, we can see a good head sculpt. He has his big yellow eyes and his debut smile, which is really good. And he has this elf-like ears right here, and as you can see, there's a good texture in the face. You have this hat. It's good uh, hat, but it's not bendable, so it just stays like he's flying. So it's always standing up. And we have is his body, which is scaly in green, which is a good texture. You can see you can feel it, and it's a bit bumpy. Unfortunately, these scales prohibit his articulation a bit because it prevents his arms from moving. We have his pink satchel over here, which is really good and comic book accurate, and his pink belt, which is probably removable if you can remove the top of his body, but yeah, just leave it there. And we have his scaly legs. There seems to be a difference in color between the two plastics that connects the legs to the upper body. And we have his boots right here. Now, going to the back, we can see there's a peg hole here, so you can put him in a flight stand. It's very unfortunate that this action figure does not come with a flight stand. And let's try to remove the head. And you can see here this weird scarf-like item here, scarf-like plastic. It should be glued in to the top because it's part of his shirt. But unfortunately, it's not glued in, so it is a bit removable. So let's try to pop on the Norman Osborn head. You can see here is a ball joint. It's a bit hard to move because put it on because it keeps moving. Here we have finally the Norman Osborn head sculpt. It took me several minutes to try to fit it on. I believe this head sculpt is really not intended for this action figure, particular action figure, but for a different body, like a normal, casual looking neck and coat and tie body, like an Agent Coulson or an Agent of Shield body. So yeah, it doesn't look right with a green neck. Probably if the neck is not green but of the same flesh tone. Yeah, but it's a good head sculpt. Let's remove the head sculpt again. And you can see here it's probably because the hole in here is too small for this ball joint. That's why it's really hard to put in. So let's return everything back to the Green Goblin face, the Green Goblin head. Oh, so for the articulation, his head can move downward that much, and yeah, and can move upward that much, downward, which is good for flight pose. The head being able to move like that can move from side to side, a 360 spin on the head. Yeah, this piece does bother me a bit because it moves as I move the head, so it should be glued. Oh well, I guess it is what it is, so we'll just have to leave it as that. So his arms can move outward that much. It's not a 90-degree because the scales prevent it from making a perfect 90 degrees. So yeah, it's really hard. You see the scales are making marks on my my fingers as well. So yeah, he can spin his arms around 360. He has a bicep swivel right here, so it can swivel perfectly. He has a double jointed elbow right here, which is good, but yeah, he can't completely do it because of his scales and his gloves. He has a wrist swivel here, and it's greatly it's nicely concealed by his gloves, and his wrist can tilt that much. And he has an ab crunch, and unfortunately you can see the insides here. There's a big gap between the two upper body parts of the Green Goblin. Yeah, it's not that good, and you would expect that he can move downward better because of that, but unfortunately no, he doesn't move that that downward that much. He has a waist swivel right here. Yeah, you can do a 360 with that one as well. He has an upper thigh swivel right here, and he has double jointed knees, which is really good, and a lower leg swivel right here, and a and his feet can tilt and move, and has a beautiful ankle rocker. So it's a good articulation for the goblin, and he can do a good split. He doesn't split that well. And here is a good display option for the Green Goblin. You can put him in the plastic that he comes along with to make him look like he's floating a bit. Here he is beside the other figure from this wave, which is Electro. So yeah, you can see here, let me turn it around so you can see it gives an illusion that it's actually gliding like a hoverboard. So yeah, that's not much you can do. Here is some size comparison with the Power and Glory Marvel Legends Captain America and the Same figure from this way, the Electro. So you can see they scale pretty well. Uh, Cap is below 6 feet. And here he is with a different line of action figures, the Marvel Select Rhino, and Marvel Select Venom. You can see how huge Rhino is and how small Goblin is, and Venom as well is huge. But yeah, Venom can become bigger as he wishes. Now let's try something more different and a little bit bigger. Let's compare the Green Goblin with other bigger Marvel Select figures. So we have the Marvel Select Hulk and Marvel Select Abomination. And you can see how tiny he is here. Yeah, it's like, well, Abomination can grab people, so he can do grab, I guess, Green Goblin. So yeah, how tiny it is, it still scales well, I believe. You can show other 6-inch figures here, like, let me get Captain America right here. He still looks well beside these two humongous Marvel Select figures. So it's a pretty good scale, nevertheless. So there you have it, my review for the Green Goblin. It's a good figure. It matches the costume of the Green Goblin in Amazing Spider-Man 121 and 122. This way must be a homage to this particular issue, this particular milestone in Spider-Man's story, the death of Gwen Stacy and the death of the Green Goblin. Hope you enjoy my review and stay safe.